Brothers, listen to this. Women are not hard to understand, and men are not stupid. It's just that the two genders communicate in different ways. Men hear things as they are said. She says something, and we believe it exactly as it sounds. Women are different, very often. They don't state directly what they're feeling, not because they are bad, but because they are used to speaking indirectly to avoid hurting others. That's why she can say something very gently, yet after hearing it, we feel confused, unable to understand, and start overthinking everything. In truth, the issue doesn't lie in the sentence itself. It lies in how she behaves, in the timing of when she says it, and in what she does afterward. If you only listen with your ears, you will feel tangled. But if you look at behavior, everything becomes very clear. This video is not meant to teach you to doubt women, nor to turn relationships into a mind game. It simply helps you look at the right place. I say this because I've been in that exact position. I once believed words. I once waited for a clearer answer. I once hoped things would be different. And then I realized, don't try to hear correctly. Observe fully, because the truth almost always lies beneath the words. When a woman says, "I'm not ready for a relationship," many men hear that sentence and automatically interpret it in a familiar way, that she needs more time, that she is busy, that if we are more patient, kinder, and stay longer, things will change. I understand that way of thinking because I used to think the same, but the truth is much simpler. This sentence rarely refers to timing. It refers to the level of desire. When someone truly wants something, they don't need more time to decide. They may move slowly, but they do not hesitate. When desire is strong enough, hesitation disappears. People look for ways, not excuses. They take initiative, rather than keeping you in a vague state of waiting. So when she says not ready, what she's not saying is not ready with you, not because you lack value, but because her feelings are not strong enough. And most women say this not to hurt you, but to avoid guilt. They don't want to be the bad person. They want to leave gently. The problem is that men often stay in that grey area for far too long, not angry, but hopeful, not clearly rejected, yet not chosen either. I'll be honest, staying in that state is what hurts the most. And here, I am not advising you to blame or resent anyone. There's no need to prove you are better, no need to change yourself to be chosen. The only thing you need to do is recognize the truth sooner, know when to walk away in silence, no noise, no bitterness, no clinging. Just respect yourself enough not to stand in the position of an emotional backup option for anyone. A mature man does not wait to be chosen last. He chooses to leave when he knows he is not the first choice. There is a sentence that, once heard, makes many men's hearts soften immediately. Normally I'm not like this, but with you, it's different. Hearing that, we feel special, as if we are the ones who made her break her own rules. I understand that feeling, because I once believed it too. But to be honest, this sentence is rarely a confession. It is usually a way of preserving an image. Women understand that men like the feeling of being chosen, of being seen as the exception. So they say this to make everything seem gentler, purer, and also so that they themselves are not seen differently. It's not that they are deliberately deceiving, they are protecting how they are perceived. What you need to understand is this. Emotions do not naturally appear for the first time just because they met you. That emotional pattern usually existed long before you did. It may not be the same situation, but the way they connect, the way they feel attraction, and the way they become intimate often repeat in the same pattern. When you believe you are the exception, you will overlook many very clear signs. You will look at a single moment and think it carries more meaning than it actually does. But mature people do not judge someone by one instance, one sentence, or one night. They look at repetition. They look at how long that person behaves that way, with how many people, and whether they maintain consistency. I'm saying this not to make you doubt everything, but to help you stay a little more clear-headed. Don't place yourself in the role of the special one too early. Let behavior speak instead of words, because what is truly rare does not need to be said. It reveals itself over time, very clearly, very quietly, without needing to be proven by words. Many women have said this sentence before, "Money isn't important to me," and many men, upon hearing it, immediately feel relieved, thinking they have finally met someone who loves them for who they are, not for money. But I'll be honest, most women do not hate money. They simply don't like men who treat money as everything. Or worse, men who don't know where they're going. In their eyes, money is not just a number. It represents responsibility, the ability to carry weight, and whether a person can stand firm under pressure. A man may not have much yet, but if he is moving forward, building something and clearly making an effort, women sense that very quickly. On the other hand, a man who is content to stand still, with no goals and no direction, no matter how well he speaks, struggles to create a sense of safety. So when she says money is not important, don't interpret that as meaning you can remain unchanged forever. She doesn't need you to be rich right away, but she does need to see that you have direction. Here, I'm not saying you need to show off, nor should you feel inferior if you're going through a difficult phase. No one builds anything overnight. What matters is that you are still moving forward, a little each day, with a plan, with discipline, with responsibility for your own life. Women are not looking for a perfectly rich man. They are looking for a man who does not stand still, a man who knows what he is building and does not give up halfway. Many women say they want a good man, and many men, upon hearing that, immediately try to become more agreeable, more accommodating, more indulgent, hoping that this will be enough. I understand that, because I once did the same. But there is a major misunderstanding here. Good does not mean submissive. It does not mean always agreeing, always apologizing, or always putting her emotions above everything else. Kindness without boundaries easily turns into weakness, and weakness does not create long-term respect. Women are not attracted to a man who loses himself just to keep the peace. They are attracted to a man who knows how to care, yet still holds his ground. A man who can listen, but does not allow another person's emotions to control his entire behavior. Many men think that if they are gentle enough, patient enough, and accommodating enough, she will appreciate it and stay. But in reality, that often only makes them taken for granted. When you are always available, you become easily replaceable. When you have no boundaries, others won't know where to stop. I'm not saying you need to be cold or rigid. Gentleness still matters greatly, but gentleness must come with firmness, care without losing standards, compromise without lowering yourself. A good man is someone who knows how to say no when needed, knows how to keep his word to himself, and does not ask permission to be respected. Being good to others begins with not betraying yourself. When you stand firm, your kindness carries weight, and only then does it truly have value. When a woman says, "My ex no longer means anything to me," many men immediately feel relieved. We think everything is in the past, that this is a new beginning, that there's nothing left to worry about. I understand that feeling. But there is one important thing you need to remember. Emotions do not disappear just because someone says they are gone. Old emotions usually don't live in words, but in reflexes. They show up in how she reacts when that person's name is mentioned, in moments when she becomes unusually sensitive, in stories that are told again, even when unnecessary. That doesn't always mean she's still in love. Often, what remains is hurt, anger, or a sense of unfinished closure. And the issue here is not jealousy. Jealousy only makes things worse. What you need is observation. You cannot love away someone else's unhealed parts. You cannot use your kindness to heal wounds you did not create. Many men enter relationships believing that if they are good enough, patient enough, and understanding enough, she will forget the past. But in reality, you're only becoming a temporary emotional outlet, not a partner, but a recovery station. And once someone has recovered, they are not guaranteed to stay. So I'm not advising you to interrogate her, nor to compare yourself to the ex. That is a game you will never win. The only thing you need to do is observe repeated behavior. Does she often bring up the past when her emotions are unstable? Does she carry old reflexes into the new relationship? Is she truly living in the present? A wise man does not try to heal wounds that do not belong to him. He is clear-headed enough to know when to stay and when to walk away in silence. There is a sentence that sounds very familiar and is also very easy to make men lower their guard. I'm not like other girls. Hearing that, many people begin to believe they have met the right one. They believe that this time will be different. But honestly, the difference does not lie in words. It lies in how a person lives every day. Someone who is truly different does not need to claim that they are different. They show it through stability, through how they behave when they are unhappy, through how they handle conflict, and through consistency over time. When someone has to say that they are special, it is very likely that they are afraid of being seen as ordinary, so they use words to create distance, instead of letting behavior speak for itself. I am not saying this to make you suspicious. Just don't believe too early. Don't attach hope to promises that sound good. Let time answer. See whether that person can maintain the same behavior when things are smooth and when things are difficult. See whether they respect your boundaries. See whether there is consistency between words and actions. When you live with standards, you don't need to decode women. You don't need to guess what they think or what they want. You only need to observe and choose to stay where you are respected, where things are clear, and where you are treated in accordance with your value. That is not coldness. That is maturity.